Guardians, welcome back to this crazy world we are living in. You probably know what I'm talking about once I dispel the topic of this video. So, just found out yesterday from reading an article that a woman, the legal definition of a woman, is defined by their biological sex. So a woman is defined by their biology. I never knew that. XX chromosomes. Go figure that one out. I never knew. It's gotten so crazy. We've gotten to a point in Western civilization in this country to have to bring the top level or the highest levels of the justice system to clarify to us the legal definition of what a woman is. That is determined by their biological sex, as I said. Thank the Lord. I just want to say, thank the Lord that the justice system is bringing common sense and restoring back our culture to logic and facts. Because that is what is missing from these transgender people and all their transgender snowflakey emotions-based nonsense. What they do is they promulgate an ideology based on emotions rather than facts. They think that their feelings and emotions carry more weight than logic, facts, and simple biology. It is common sense. It's not all that complicated. And what I really think is that these people, okay, they're a small minority of people promulgating all this transgender nonsense on our schools, our education system, on our children, to push this left-wing woke agenda. Really what it all boils down to is that they live in a first world country, they've got first world problems, and they just are there to stir up a cauldron and to create problems for themselves, create problems for other people, and create problems for their culture. They have no problems with having an axe to grind against straight white males. They want to topple the system. They want to destroy the nuclear family, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to destroy the very fabric of our culture and take away all the things that we associate with truth, logic, facts, history, biology, and simple common sense. And what I'm hoping that this will achieve with what the top courts have established in this article is that they're going to throw all this transgender nonsense out the window. No more of creepy trans men going into females' restrooms and causing all sorts of havoc, making women feel uncomfortable. And we don't want men, biological men, competing in women's sports. Because I never see those feminist groups coming out and pushing against this, because oh no, we can't offend, we don't want to offend the feelings of transgender people, do we? We're going to stop this, stop all this gender neutral bathrooms, that kind of nonsense. We're going to stop men competing in women's sports, and yeah, we're just going to bring back a level of decency to our society and to secure the nuclear family in our culture. It's not that complicated. This wouldn't have happened if you put a transgender person back into the past, back into the Victorian times, where life was so miserable. You know, Oliver Twist times. People were living in absolute poverty. There was famine everywhere. The streets were dirty. People had to work 21 hours a day just to put food on the table. And some people, like Oliver Twist, you know, literally children, had to resort to stealing, theft, nicking their neighbours' groceries, stealing potatoes from the store just to put food on the table, just to survive, literally to survive. And they wouldn't be thinking, gosh, maybe I'm a woman. Maybe I could be a man. I never thought about that. maybe, just maybe, there might just be more than one gender, or more than two genders. Might be a third, a fourth, a fifth. First world problems, honestly. Again, I say, thank the Lord that common sense and logic and facts is being brought back to the discussion. It's not all that complicated. It is simple, clearly based on biology. If you haven't found out whether you're a man and woman, I suggest you open your trousers or whatever you're wearing on your bottom half. Look down there. If you see a pickle, you're a man. If you see a peach, you're a girl, you're a woman, you're a female. And if you're not sure, well, I suggest you get your eyes checked out, or you get a mental health checked out. Mental health check. Because there's most likely something seriously, awfully wrong with you if you can't decipher whether you're a man or woman by looking down there. So like I'm saying, it is a victory for common sense, a victory for logic and facts. And I'm going to go off on a tangent here and say that I wish that the justice system would bring the same level of common sense, the same level of logic, facts, and simple common sense into the situation that Tommy Robinson is in. Can they legally define what a civil offence is that someone like Tommy Robinson is being treated in the most appalling manner, receiving death threats from Islamist jihadists inside of the prison, living off 21 hours a day, confined in a tight cell, living off of tin tuna and crisps, can't see his son, can't see his wife, all for a civil offence? Why don't they bring the same level of common sense, logic and facts to the grooming gang situation? Lock up all these illegal migrants who've committed all sorts of atrocities on young, white, innocent girls, and let's bring an end to this awful, appalling state of grooming gang sexual assault on young, innocent girls. And let's deport all these illegal migrants. I'm sorry for going off on a tangent. But if it takes the justice system to legally define what a woman is, then they can legally define what illegal migration is. They can legally define what mass deportations means. They can legally define what a civil offence is, and release Tommy Robinson. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you've taken something out of this video, and be sure to leave your comments down below. I'd love to see you guys start a discussion and let me know what you guys think and what your opinion is. So I'll see you in the next one. Guardian Mo's clocking out.